Hey everybody, how are you guys doing today? Well, I really was a little shy to do this video because it makes me nervous to speak English in front of you because of most of my missionary friends are English speakers. This is how I can keep them updated. And also it is a way to share an encouragement message that actually it is a good announcement. Well, every season has an ending and I'm celebrating today, the end of a waiting season. Sometimes, as a missionaries, we feel like we are more productive if we do our ministry overseas. In other words, a cross cultural ministry. Honestly, when we are in other city, people want to hear something new. They are ready to listen what new you are bringing to them. That's why I never expected to be a long term in my own city. I really enjoyed to do that. In fact, at the beginning of this year, I went to Peru to work in a school and I was expected to be there for the whole year. But God brought me here once again to Colombia, and this time He encouraged me to keep expanding my vision with the promise that if I do that, He will guide me to a new provision. uh, and under a new administration, which means that the 7 years I served to Y1 had to end. But it doesn't mean that my missionary calling has to end. Amplify my mission and my vision means that I have to keep building up with others that may not be involved with Y1, but they are working also in raising young generation through the Christian education. So, like 2 weeks ago, I had a prophetic seminary with the students from Bethel School. I guess some of you know about this ministry. Well, they prayed for me and it was confirmed my love for children, the passion I pour out to see them through God's eyes, and the need to be influenced in other scenarios and making new business relationships. God was saying that I will be a voice among my co-workers to bring order, and I will manage with confidence the biblical worldview and foundation, and to teach the principles, where teachers will come to me to be training and inspired. Wow, when I received that word, I knew it was God talking, because this is what happened when I was in Peru. The elementary teachers were so thankful because I shared with them some strategies for the classroom management and the creativity to do my classes and showing God in every subject. Yes, I think only Father God can place us where nobody else would do your job better than the way you could do it. So it is a privilege to serve Him. And because of that, I was praying a lot and I knew a shift was coming. And as a missionary, you know that I have learned to depend on God for my financial needs during these last 7 years. Well, because living as a missionary in a Latino country is really a challenge of faith. But God knows, and He promises to the faithful ones who pursue His will, He will never forsake us. So he will use it even as salary to keep us on track in his business. And this is why I have here to tell you this announcement that I was hired to be a kindergarten teacher in a Christian school here in Bogota. Yes, of course, as a Christian educator, I can use my classroom as a full-time ministry. Well, yes, you hear Bogota. I know it sounds weird because you know me and I really enjoy teaching in the States because I love the beautiful resources for the classes and the amazing history books they have. But it's okay. I love to be in the centers of God's will and I will obey. I know it's time to raise Colombian children in God's way. I am confident of my new job, which is going to start in 2 days. As you can see, the background that I have here says, I love children and I love miracles. Yes, I really love teaching children how to read in English because teaching English is with the phonetics. It's so much fun. Well, it brings logic and also it tells us about the purpose in the language. Have you heard that the English is the language of liberty? Well, if you are only an English speaker, let me tell you how by learning this language, it opens a new worldview for our convictions. I will give you an example that comes to my mind with the word liberty. Usually, some Americans don't know this, but you have two words to express this condition. You have the word freedom, which is external, and liberty is internal. You could be in a jail, restrained from external freedom, but because you know the truth that makes you free, internally you live in liberty. That's what it matters for our nations. And this could happen with many other languages. What I love of being a teacher is that we help others to go in deep to the original design of the things. Of course, we have to do it according to God's instructions. Do you remember what happened when David tried to move the ark without knowing God's instructions? That is what happened with the education. Education has a method. And in this school, I would be able to develop why I have applied with my last students. My goal is to articulate day by day the right philosophy of the education that may cause a reformation in my nation. So now that you have heard me and that you know everything, I want to tell you that I'm facing a big giant. Well, Bogota is a big city. Or you live near to your job, or you would waste hours in the public transportation. That's something I would miss from living in community, where I used to live in the same place I used to work. Well, so the school is far away from my home, and there is no public transportation that will take me close. So if I use a bus and a taxi every day, it will be very expensive. And it is sad that the school doesn't provide bus for the teachers because we need to be there early before the students arrive. So, of course, I want to be there on time and ready to serve the children. And that's the reason I am believing in God for a motorcycle. Yes. Well, I already took 2 steps of faith. First of all, I'm taking classes to get the license, and I already bought the helmet. Well, yes, can I count on you to make this possible? You know, I haven't received a salary for many years, but the future benefits is worth the investment. Yes, that's why I need you. At least I'm thinking first to cover the primary cost, so I will not get a big monthly debt. A motorcycle could be around $1,600. Let me believe with you that if God permits the challenge, He will provide the grace and the way to get it. So, first of all, thank you for the people who understand how ministry works. Our petitions are not to satisfy ourselves, they always involve others. So, if you think you could sow for the beginning of my new season and the blessing that it will be for this school, please, I encourage to do it. I know God never forgets what you have done for Him. Also pray for my safe, for my future students, and the new relationships in this community. Thank you so much for having this time and get an update about me. And I'm also happy to invite you to decide to obey the Lord always. Bye bye.